They don't sell calm, they sell chaos. Because chaos makes you click. Panic makes you buy. Distraction keeps you hooked. And every second you spend off balance, somebody cashes in. Now here's the twist. Stillness is the ultimate rebellion. Not rage, not noise, just pure surgical calm. In a world addicted to urgency and overstimulation, stillness is the new flex. We glamorized hustle. We made busy a badge of honor. But monks? Monks don't chase. Monks don't flinch. Monks walk when the world runs because they know calm isn't weakness. Calm is control. While the world scrolls itself into anxiety, you're the one who pauses, you breathe, you observe, you stay still while the chaos burns around you. That's not passive, that's power. Peace is a weapon. It disarms drama. It cuts through noise. It makes you unplayable in a game everyone else is dying to win. Still body, still mind. That's the monk's cheat code. Not lazy, just unfazed. Next time someone tries to bait you, don't react. Just pause. Watch their energy bounce off you and die mid-air. They won't know what to do with your silence. People mistake calm for weakness until calm walks in and takes over the room. Everyone's panicking, quietly, constantly. They don't know how to be bored. They don't know how to be alone. They don't know how to sit still without a screen babysitting their thoughts. But you do, because you're training to become a super monk. The world is rigged for urgency, fast food, fast news, fast dopamine. But monks play a different game. They move slow to go far. They sit still to see more. They master silence, so their voice actually means something when they speak. Because when you're calm, you're clear. And when you're clear, you're dangerous. No panic, no twitch, no flinch. Stillness isn't silence. It's undisturbed energy. You can throw insults, drama, noise, but a monk will blink at you like you're background static. They feel emotions. They just don't serve them. They screen what enters their mental space. They ask, is this useful? If not, it doesn't get in. Here's the science. When you breathe slow, your brain slows down. When your body is still, your nervous system resets. When you pause before reacting, you buy clarity. And clarity? That's lethal in a confused world. Monks aren't emotionless. They're just not emotionally hijacked. They don't get pulled by the current. They observe the current and choose when to step in. Try this. 1 minute. No noise. No scrolling. No twitching. Just you. Breathing. Your mind will squirm. It'll beg for escape. Good. That means the training has begun. And the more you do it, the less you flinch. The less you chase. The less you need external peace. Because you've started making your own. This isn't about chilling out. It's about leveling up. Because when the world goes dark, the monk lights his own fire. Stillness isn't just spiritual. It's strategic. Calm people make sharp decisions. They don't yell to be heard. They don't panic post, panic spend, or panic react. They observe, they filter, they strike when it matters, and that's how you win. Next time life hits fast, slow down, breathe, pause longer than feels comfortable. Because that pause, that's the weapon. Stillness is not lack of motion. It's mastery over motion. It's the eye of the storm. The sniper in a room full of machine guns. The one person who doesn't need attention. Because presence speaks louder than performance. Once you feel that kind of calm, you won't chase noise again. You'll protect your peace like your life depends on it. Because it does. You'll stop being the puppet. You'll become the monk pulling the strings. And in a world that profits from your panic, your stillness will be the loudest thing in the room. Stillness is the new flex. Welcome to monk mode. Your brain is a liar, not malicious, not evil, just dramatic. It throws out thoughts like clickbait headlines, random fears, old guilt, future worries that haven't happened, and the dangerous part? You believe them because the brain speaks in your voice. But here's the truth. Thoughts are not facts. Just because you think something doesn't make it true. Your mind is a comment section, unfiltered, emotional, and often full of nonsense. And if you don't learn to observe it, it will own you. This is where monks flip the script. They don't identify with their thoughts. They witness them. They don't say, I am angry. They say, there is anger. See the shift? One makes you the emotion, the other makes you the observer. Meta thinking. Watching your own thoughts from the outside. Like you're the director of your own mental movie, not the actor caught in the scene. That's monk mode. Imagine a storm. Most people, they're in it, tossed around, drenched, yelling. But monks, they're the sky, watching the storm pass beneath them, calm, detached. Still, that's power. When you react instantly, you surrender control. You become a slave to whatever your brain throws at you. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Boom, anger. Someone doesn't text back. Boom, panic. Boss criticizes you. Boom, shame spiral. You never stop to ask, is this true? Is this useful? Is this even mine? Enter mental aikido, the art of using your mind's energy against itself. When a thought strikes, you don't fight it. You don't run from it. You pivot. You acknowledge it, thank it, and let it pass. No resistance, no attachment, just redirection. Thought, I'm not good enough. Monk mind, interesting. Where'd that come from? Thought, they don't like me. Monk mind, noted. But what do I know? You become the scientist, not the subject. You study your thoughts like weather patterns. Today's forecast, 70% anxiety with scattered regrets. No judgment, just awareness. And awareness is warriorship. Most people go their whole lives without realizing they can do this. They think their thoughts are them. But you're not your thoughts. You're the one watching your thoughts. And once you see that, the game changes. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop drowning in the emotion and start watching the ripple. Let's break it down. Reaction is impulse. Response is intelligence. Reaction is reflex. Response is mastery. Monks train that gap. The sacred pause between trigger and response. The longer that gap, the more power you hold. It's like emotional muscle. At first, it's weak. You snap, you spiral, but with training, that gap stretches. Suddenly, you've got room to breathe, to choose, to move like a warrior, not a victim. Now, let's be real. Emotions hit hard, especially the old ones. Shame, rejection, grief. These aren't casual guests. They're squatters in your psyche. But monks don't evict them with force. They shine light on them. Awareness burns hotter than avoidance. You can't outfight the storm, but you can stop stepping into it. Start with one mantra. This is just a thought. It's not me. Say it every time your mind throws garbage your way. This is just a thought. It's not me. Eventually, you'll believe it, and the thought loses all its teeth. Let's go deeper. Every thought has a feeling attached. That's why it hooks you. Not because it's true, but because it feels true. But monks don't chase feelings. They sit with them. Watch them rise. Watch them fall. No clinging, no pushing, just witnessing. That's the move. Your mind throws a punch. You lean back. Let it swing past. Then calmly disarm it. That's mental Aikido. And when you can observe without reacting, you're untouchable. You can be in chaos, but not of it. Surrounded by noise, but not controlled by it. That's the warrior's path. Let's look at this through behavior. You ever text someone and they don't reply, and your brain immediately spirals into rejection mode? They're mad. I messed up. They hate me. Reality check. They're in the shower. But you already wrote a full breakup script in your head. That's the storm. But monks, they don't get wet. They notice the spiral starting and stop the movie before it rolls. That's the gap. That's the practice. Your mind isn't the enemy. It's just untrained. It's like a wild horse, powerful but chaotic. Most people get dragged by it. Monks learn to ride. So how do you train it? Simple. Label your thoughts, not I suck. Try, that's a self-critical thought, not they hate me. Try, that's a fear-based assumption. The moment you label a thought, you separate from it. You rob it of its disguise. It's not you. It's just a narrative. And narratives can be rewritten. This is the work. Not to silence the mind, but to stop believing everything it says. Stillness of thought is impossible. But space around the thought, that's monk mastery. You'll still feel, you'll still hurt, but you won't drown. You'll float above it. You'll choose your next move, not have it chosen for you. And that choice, that's freedom. That's how monks keep calm in war zones. That's how they smile in discomfort. That's how they win battles without lifting a hand, because they mastered the one battlefield everyone else ignores, the mind. And in a world ruled by reaction, awareness is revolution. Thoughts will come. Let them. Emotions will rise. Feel them. But let neither define you. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching. And that, my friend, is the power they never taught you. Because once you learn to see your mind clearly, you stop being manipulated by it. You stop swinging at shadows. You stop chasing ghosts. You become what the world can't shake. Still, sharp, aware. You become the monk in the madness. You ever try catching 10 rabbits at once? Exactly. You end up hungry and exhausted. Multitasking is a myth, a productivity scam dressed up as a flex. In reality, it's a slow bleed of your focus, your energy, your potential. Monks don't chase chaos. They chase clarity. One move, one mind. That's the way of the monk. Focus isn't a luxury, it's survival. In a world rigged for distraction, your ability to lock in is your competitive edge. We're talking sniper precision while the rest of the world sprays bullets at everything and hits nothing. Let's be blunt. Your brain is fried. It's not your fault. It's been hijacked by scroll addiction, notification dopamine, and a culture that equates busy with valuable. But here's the truth. Being scattered isn't a skill. It's a weakness. Multitasking shatters your depth. Every time you switch tasks, your brain pays a toll. You lose clarity, you lose presence, you lose power. It's not multitasking, it's mental whiplash. Monks move differently. They don't rush, they don't scatter, they go deep. Still body, sharp mind, one task, fully alive in it. No mental tabs open, no buffering, just now. And that's where your power lives, in the now. Not in juggling 10 half-baked actions, not in reacting to every ping. Real power is being all in right here, right now. Multitasking isn't just inefficient, it's destructive. Studies prove it. Drops your IQ, spikes your stress, lowers creativity. You become a cheap version of yourself, stretched thin across 5 tabs and one fractured identity. Monks knew better. They built their mind like a blade, not wide but deep. When they walk, they walk. When they eat, they eat. When they speak, it's deliberate, zero scatter, total presence. And that presence, that's magnetic. That's real now, and that makes it powerful. Let's make this tactical. Kill the multitask myth. It doesn't make you productive, it makes you replaceable. Depth is the new flex. Precision is rare, so be rare. Create a focus container. Set a timer. Pick one mission. Kill all distractions. Phone off. Tabs closed. No side quests. Just you and the task. Go deep. Breathe through the discomfort. That's the detox. That's you reclaiming your mind. Slow your tempo on purpose. The world sprints toward burnout. You move with control. Not slow, not lazy, strategic, still, precise. Like a master archer. One breath, one pull, one bullseye. That's the monk way. Monks don't need noise. They don't need chaos. They move like a sniper. Deliberate, centered, lethal, not 10 arrows flying wild, one, and it lands. Focus is a muscle. Train it or lose it. Your brain forgot how to crave clarity. It's hooked on dopamine drips. But once it remembers the taste of silence, the power of flow, it won't want to go back. Flow is full immersion. No noise, no lag, no fragmentation. Time disappears. You vanish into the task. That's monk mode. That's when work becomes art. Notifications. That's flow's enemy. Tabs. Death by 1,000 cuts. You're not a machine. You're not built for constant switching. You're built for immersion, for alignment, for presence. The monk isn't anti-tech. He's anti-fragmentation. His tools don't control him. His mind does. And here's the cheat code. Your ability to ignore distractions is more valuable than your ability to react. That's the modern superpower. Focus isn't a skill, it's a rebellion. The monk mantra is simple. Silence is strength. Simplicity is speed. Focus is freedom. Want to change your life? Master this. One task, one track, one moment. Read one book deeply. Listen to one person fully. Write one sentence with intention. Meditate on one breath. You'll feel something strange. Clarity, confidence, presence. That's rare now. And rare gets rewarded. The quality of your attention shapes the quality of your reality. If you can't focus, you can't build. If you can't focus, you can't love deeply. If you can't focus, you can't even think straight. Focus isn't optional. It's everything. So here's the protocol. Cut the noise. Choose one mission. Enter it fully. Stay until it's done. Then pause, breathe, reset, repeat. Every powerful life is built on one deliberate move at a time. Not rushed, not reactive, composed, laser focused, and that's what makes it unstoppable. Let the world scroll. Let them chase dopamine. You're here for something else. Not chaos, not noise. Precision, power, peace. One move, one mind. That's the path. Everybody wants monk-level discipline until they meet boredom. Here's the cold truth. Discipline doesn't live in motivation. It lives in monotony, in the quiet, in the mind-numbing repetition no one claps for. And that's exactly where monks thrive. You want power? Learn to fall in love with boredom. That's the real flex. Because while most people bounce the second it's not exciting, the monk leans in. He doesn't need it to be fun. He needs it to be done. That's the difference between a tourist and a warrior. You think your life needs to be thrilling? You've been sold a lie. Every scroll, every binge, every hack taught your brain to panic the second it gets quiet. You've been dopamine dripped into distraction. But the monk rewires that on purpose. He trains his mind to be still, even when nothing's happening, especially when nothing's happening, because that's when the power builds. Here's the cheat code. Boredom is a gateway. It's not the enemy. It's the test. Get past it, and you access a level most never see. The level where habits become reflex, where your body moves without permission, where mastery begins. Think about it. Greatness never shows up in a highlight reel. It hides in routine, in laps, in pages, in silence. That's where you separate average from elite. Monks know this. They don't chase excitement. They chase excellence. And excellence is boring 90% of the time. But that's the point. We live in a culture addicted to new goals, new routines, new gadgets. But monks, they master the old, the ancient, the unsexy. They repeat the same actions until the edge is razor sharp. Because repetition is reputation. You are what you do repeatedly. That's not poetry, it's programming. If you can't repeat without resistance, you can't evolve. Want to build a mind like a mountain? Start with boring stuff. Make your bed like it matters. Sit still for 10 minutes without checking your phone. Practice the same move until your brain begs for novelty, and then keep going. That's where transformation lives. On the other side of "I'm over it," modern society will sell you chaos, variety, noise. But the monk says, do it again. Sharpen the same blade. Walk the same path. Train your body to crave consistency more than stimulation. Because here's the secret. Discipline isn't hard. It's just not entertaining. Everyone can grind when it's glamorous. But the real power? It's in the Tuesday mornings, the gray afternoons, the stuff you do when nobody's watching and everything feels the same. Eat boredom, digest power. You're not supposed to feel like it. You're supposed to finish it. Feelings are unreliable. They're toddlers with knives. Discipline is the adult in the room. That's why monks meditate daily. Same time, same place, same breath, because they're not chasing novelty. They're building mental muscle. The repetition rewires your brain. It trains your nervous system to hold stillness. And from stillness comes clarity. And from clarity, choice. Not reaction, not impulse, choice. That's real power. Let's get tactical. Build a boredom routine. Same wake-up, same rituals, same meals. Not forever, but long enough to unhook your brain from the need for constant stimulation. Use a boredom calendar. Track the reps. Don't aim for perfect, aim for consistent, because consistency is the real monk mode. Monks become beasts by being boring. While the world's chasing sparks, they're building firewood. Quietly, patiently, intentionally. You don't need a new workout plan. You need to actually do the one you started. You don't need more apps. You need more reps. You don't need variety. You need volume. Monks trained for decades with the same posture, the same phrases, the same sequence. Not because they lack creativity, because they're cooking something deeper. Resilience, stillness, focus, forged in fire. And boredom is the forge. Get good at boring. Get so good that brushing your teeth feels like sacred ritual, that every email gets answered with monk-like precision, that you show up to the same task with reverence instead of resentment. That's the shift. From this again to this is where I build me. You want to be dangerous? Be reliable. Be boringly consistent. People should be able to set their watch by your discipline. Predictable isn't weak. Predictable is powerful, because chaos can't survive inside rhythm. Monks don't crave stimulation. They create structure. And inside that structure, they find freedom. deep, quiet freedom. The kind no algorithm can steal. So here's the truth. Nobody tells you if it's boring, you're doing it right. That's where the gains live, not in intensity, but in identity. The person who sticks with it wins, always. It's not sexy, it's not viral, but it's real. And reality beats hype every single time. Monk discipline is monk boredom. It's showing up after the thrill is gone. It's walking through fog with your eyes wide open. It's routine so precise it becomes sacred. Eat boredom. Digest power. That's the way. Power doesn't come from adding. It comes from subtracting. The monk doesn't gain strength by stacking. He gains it by slicing. Silence, simplicity, self-denial. These aren't punishments. They're precision tools. They're how you turn your mind from a messy garage into a laser-guided weapon. You want serenity? Something's got to go. The modern world has you hoarding chaos, notifications, options, opinions. Your life is bloated with junk food for the soul, and every bite of distraction weakens you. The monk sees this, and he cuts. First, noise. Not just sound, but distraction, static, input overload. Most people can't sit in silence for 60 seconds without feeling like they're dying. That's not normal. That's not freedom. That's addiction. Monks use silence like a scalpel to open up what's real. Because in silence, the truth crawls out. It's uncomfortable. That's the point. Growth doesn't knock politely. It kicks in the door, and silence is the key that lets it in. You want clarity? Mute the world. The next sacrifice? Simplicity. We worship complexity like it's clever, but complexity is just a dressed-up excuse for not making decisions. Simplicity, that's commitment. It's bold. It's rare. It's the refusal to dilute your energy chasing a dozen mediocre outcomes. Monks wear the same robes, follow the same schedule, eat the same meals. Why? Because simplicity frees bandwidth. When you remove 1,000 micro-decisions, you create mental runway for deep, focused action. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Want to move like a monk? Strip your routine to its bones. Wake, move, breathe. Building serve, repeat. Don't be impressive, be effective. But here's the hardest sacrifice: ego. Ego wants to be seen. Ego needs validation. Ego whispers, "You're special. You shouldn't have to wait. You shouldn't have to suffer. This shouldn't be boring." The monk kills that voice every day because ego keeps you chasing illusions. It turns every inconvenience into an insult. It makes you fragile, defensive, tired. When you sacrifice ego, you gain armor. You don't flinch at criticism. You don't collapse when no one's clapping. You stop needing the world to treat you a certain way for you to stay steady. That's serenity. And serenity is a superpower because in chaos, the calm person controls the room. In conflict, the calm person dictates the pace. In pressure, the calm person makes the sharpest decision. Monks don't panic, not because life's easier, but because they burn the part of themselves that needs control. They've sacrificed comfort for clarity. Here's the equation: less comfort equals more control. That's the monk trade-off. You give up the easy path in exchange for the unshakable path. You let go of the soft world to build a steel spine. You don't scroll. You sit. You don't escape. You observe. You don't perform. You practice. Discipline isn't built in perfect conditions. It's built in the furnace. And monks walk straight into the fire on purpose. Self-denial isn't weakness. It's strength training. Every no you say to indulgence is a yes to power. Every time you fast, unplug, retreat, you shrink the outside world and expand your inner one. That's the paradox. Less outside means more inside. You don't need louder music. You need sharper ears. You don't need bigger meals. You need deeper presence. You don't need more applause. You need fewer opinions. Power isn't flashy. It's quiet. Silent power is the scariest kind. The monk walks into a room with no noise, but you feel it. That's what happens when you cut what no longer serves. So what does that look like practically? Sacrifice your mornings. Make them sacred. No screen, no noise. Just breathe. Movement. Stillness. The first hour sets the rhythm for the next 23. Sacrifice stimulation. Delete apps. Mute chaos. Replace consumption with contemplation. Instead of grabbing your phone, grab a journal. Ask yourself questions that make your ego squirm. Sacrifice comfort food, not just fries and soda. Comfort behaviors, doom scrolling, gossip, complaining. These things taste good, but poison slowly. The monk spits them out. Early, often. Sacrifice speed. Slow down everything. Your walk, your words, your work. Speed hides weakness. Slowness reveals mastery. Move with intent, not urgency. Sacrifice identity. Let go of being the funny one, the busy one, the successful one. Those labels trap you. The monk says, I am no one. And in that emptiness, he becomes everything. Sound extreme? Good. Because power doesn't live in moderation. Power lives in the margins, where most people tap out, where the discomfort feels sharp and the silence feels endless. But sit there long enough, and the gold reveals itself. When you sacrifice the shallow, you unlock the sacred. When you give up the mask, you meet your real face. When you stop performing, you start becoming. Serenity is earned, and the price is sacrifice. The monk doesn't flinch in the fire because he's walked through it 1,000 times, not once, not when it was convenient, every single day. That's the code. Minimalism in thought, purity in action, ruthlessness in simplicity. You want monk energy? Live like a scalpel. Cut what's not aligned. Kill distractions at the root. Say no like your soul depends on it, because it does. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Simplicity isn't dull. It's deadly focused. Self-denial isn't suffering. It's strategy. Give up what doesn't make you grow. Burn the easy path. Stand in the ashes. Still, clear, dangerous. You'll be the only calm one in the room and the most powerful.